What's up guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Emma if you're new here, and I love to talk about all things Peloton cycling and fitness. So be sure to subscribe if you haven't already. I post every single Sunday, and today's video I am starting another new strength program on Peloton. I'm going to be doing the Stronger You program by Ben Alldis, one of my favorite instructors. I already did a video on the Stronger One, the first program by Ben last year, so I'm happy that he came out with a follow-up program. It is a 4-week program, 4 days a week, which is quite the commitment for me for strength. 32 classes, and it looks like it's about 30 to 40 minutes a day. The description is unlock a whole new level in the Stronger You 2. Time to elevate and take your weights, reps, and confidence to exponential heights with this 4-week program. Your journey continues in becoming the strongest version of you. So this video, I'm going to do weeks 1 and 2, and then I'll do a follow-up video of weeks 3 and 4, just so this video isn't an hour long. And today is day 1. It is a gloomy Sunday morning. There are 2 classes on the docket today. The first is a 30-minute benchmark test. The description is, it's time for your first benchmark test of the program. This test will be repeated in week 4 so you can measure your progress and see how far you've come. I do feel like 30 minutes is a really long time for a benchmark test. I actually just finished Adrian's glute and legs program a couple days ago, so I just took the benchmark test for that. So, I'm a little benchmark tested out, but we will do it for the sake of seeing my progress at the end. And then afterwards, there's a 10-minute full body stretch. The description is lean into this well-deserved 10-minute full body stretch for maximum recovery and get ready for workout 2 of the program. And it looks like we have stretches after all of the classes in this program, which I appreciate because I do stretch on my own, but I definitely stretch better if I'm with an instructor. But that's like something that I cut all the time if I'm running out of time. So if it's like in the program, I know I'll do it. So I appreciate that he schedules it in. I also love Ben for stretches. He's one of my favorite stretchers, especially a full body stretch. I think Ben does it really, really well. So I think the 2 classes should be good today. It should be pretty hard because benchmark tests usually are, but I'm curious what we do for 30 minutes. So let's hit the mat and knock out week 1, day 1. That benchmark test was no joke. It is coming back to me that it was very similar to the Stronger You one, which makes sense, it's a continuation. I don't remember if it's the same exact moves, but basically the idea of this class is that there are upper body, lower body, and core sections, and each section has 3 different moves where you try to max out the amount of reps you can do for 1 minute of each move, and you do it twice. We started off with a 4-minute bodyweight warm-up, no complaints there, love bodyweight, we got warmed up, and then we pretty much got right on into it because we had 18 minutes of work to be doing. So the first section was arms, and man, it was a little sad to start with arms because I have been neglecting them recently doing the glutes and legs program with Adrian. So this was a wake-up call that I need to, start doing some more arm workouts. But we started off, we did push-ups, and with push-ups, Ben is either do them all off your knees or all on your knees, because if you mix it, then it's hard to compare in the benchmark in the 4th week. So I did off the knees. It was not pretty. For the first minute, I got 13, and the second minute, I got 12. We pretty much had a 30-second break in between all of these movements. So got a little bit of recovery, but honestly, in my opinion, that's not enough time to fully recover, which I think was also the point. After push-ups, we did push presses. Ben said to use medium weights. I used 15 pounds. I did 19 in both of these minutes. And then we finished off the arm section with bent over rows. I also did 15 pounds, and I also got 19 in both minutes. So at least I'm pretty consistent, even though I did feel myself getting more tired towards the end. Then we went to legs and we started off with the RDLs, and I actually grabbed 25 pounds for the RDLs because I felt like that was going to be like way too easy to do 20 pounds. Ben at the beginning of this class said to grab medium and heavy weights. I grabbed 15, 20, 25 just so I had a little more flexibility, just because I don't feel like I have like a solid heavyweight and a solid medium weight. So I did 24 RDLs the first time, 25 the second time. I love deadlifts. It was a fun 2 minutes. And then we did reverse lunges. I went down to 20 pounds here. I kind of thought I could stay at 25, but I also felt like I was getting pretty tired, like only having 30 seconds of recovery and working as hard as possible during the minutes was starting to catch up to me. So I went down to 20. I did 22 the first time, 23 the second time. And then we finished off the leg section with squats. Racked the weights up. I did 20 pounds and I did 16 the first time, 17 the second time. I was feeling really tired now. I definitely think out of the leg portion, at least, the place I could see the biggest improvement is squats. I had a lot of time where I was like resting because I was so tired and it was really catching up to me. And then we finished off with a core section. So we did renegade rows. I did 15 pounds on our knees. I did 17 the first time, 18 the second. Then we did roll-ups with one weight. I did 15 pound and I did 14 in both of those minutes. And then we finished off with a plank pike reach where I did 19 the first minute and 20 the second minute. This was unweighted. So I'm definitely interested to see after 4 weeks what my improvements are. I think I definitely see the most potential in improving in my arms, but we'll see. It'll definitely be interesting. One thing that Ben said that did throw me off a little bit is he's like, oh, if you can like go up in weight for the next benchmark, then that's like already improvement, which I've always tried to maintain the same exact weight. So we're like comparing apples to apples. I'm going to keep my weights the same so that I can compare easier. But it's interesting that he said that. I've never really heard of that before. So that was it for that class. I mean, difficulty 10 out of 10, you should be trying your hardest. I was shaking when I was holding the roll-up weight at the end. And like, that's not even a heavy weight. I just was tired. And enjoyability, I mean, I don't think benchmark classes are that fun. I would give it like a 7 out of 10. I will say it passed by very quickly because, you do a minute of work and then you have 30 seconds of recovery. You grab water. For me, I'm like adjusting my filming and then it's already time to like do the next minute. So it did pass by relatively quickly. And then afterwards, we had a nice 10-minute full body stretch. And he actually talked about the benchmark in it. So I'm curious if he actually does a new stretch for every class. If he does, I'll be very, very impressed with Ben. Fingers crossed. I don't like when you just repeat like the same stretch over and over again. And it was a good stretch. Ben knows how to stretch you out. I'm feeling pretty good, but we still have 3 more strength days this week. So we'll have to see, but so far, so good. It is now the next day. I'm feeling pretty good, not sore from yesterday at all. So I figured we'd jump into day 2 and then take a rest day tomorrow, which is what is recommended by this program. So the next class is a 20-minute upper body strength class, the first real strength class of this program. The description is, give it all you've got in this 20-minute upper body workout. It combines movements designed to strengthen your arms, shoulders, chest, and back, elevate those reps and weights for maximum results. And, I'm a little nervous. I've definitely been neglecting the arms. I did do like some upper body strength during my 4 weeks of the Adrian program, but yeah, this should start to whip me back into shape. And then afterwards, we just have a 5-minute upper body stretch. The description is, it's recovery time. Your body will thank you for taking this 5-minute upper body stretch so you're ready for the next workout, which again, I'm happy that there's a little stretch at the end. Today is only 25 minutes long, so it's a little bit on the shorter side, which is nice. So let's go to the gym, hit the mat, and knock out the strength workout. I think that class was good. It wasn't like amazing, blow my mind, great, but I think that's because I personally like to lift heavier and do less reps, and this class is kind of like as many reps as possible for all the moves, but it was structured well, definitely effective workout. Like, he really packed a lot into the 20 minutes. I feel like I really worked out all different parts of my arms. We got in there, we did the moves, and we got out. So we started with a 2-minute body weight warm-up. No complaints there. We did some planks, we did some arm movements that were body weight, and then we were ready to go because this class is only 20 minutes, so we can't be wasting time on the warm-up. And we had 3 different sections of this class. We had a shoulder section, a chest section, and then a back and bicep section. In each section, we did a set where there were 3 moves and we repeated it once. So we did it twice. I like the repeat of the set just so the first time you're like really figuring out what weights and stuff, and then the second time you can really get on into it. We had a little bit of recovery in between each move. The first set was always 45 seconds on, 15 seconds off, and we were usually trying to aim for like 10 to 12 reps. But even if you hit that, like, you just are supposed to keep going. And then the second set, we went down to 30 seconds and we're supposed to do 8 to 10 reps. So the first set was an overhead press, a front raise, and a tricep kickback. I did have a little bit of an issue in this class because Ben is like, grab medium weights. And he's like, you can grab 2 different medium weights if you want and like adjust. I had to grab 3 different medium weights. I grabbed 10, 15, and 20s because I just felt like sometimes I can push up to the 20 and sometimes I need the 10. Realistically, I'd love to have a 12.5 pound dumbbell. I think that like 10 is a little light for me, even for some moves, but 15 still seems very hard in an as many reps as possible situation. So for the overhead press, I did 15 pounds and then I went down to 10 pounds for the front raise and the tricep kickback. Then in the second set, we started off with a neutral grip chest press. I went up to 20 pounds for these. Honestly, I might have even been able to push 25, but just with like as many reps as possible, I try to like conserve some energy, but 15 or 10 pounds would not have been right for me. Like 20 pounds is kind of the minimum I want to do for chest presses. Then we did chest flies, which I went down to 10 pounds. Honestly, next time I should probably push myself to 15. 10 was pretty easy, but 15 I know is going to be hard. But next time I need to push myself a little harder. And then we finished off with some push-ups, which I did on my knees, which again, I probably could have pushed a little bit harder. But honestly, once I started this class, I'm like, wow, I'm actually a little bit sore from yesterday. I don't feel it sitting here, but when you have weights in hand, you know, you feel it a little bit more. But I'm so proud of myself. We got through it. And then the last set was a bicep curl, a bent over row, and a crossbody curl. And I did all of those at 15 pounds. That felt good. Maybe could have bumped up to 20 pounds for the row, but I feel like it was a solid back and biceps set. And then the class was over. So it went by very quickly. Enjoyability, I'd give it like a 7 out of 10. I think partially it is because I definitely prefer working out my legs than my arms. So that's already like working against us here, but I feel like it was structured well. We really got in and got out. It was very predictable. Like I like when we follow the same set pattern over and over again, so you know what to expect. There was time to switch out weights. It was a really good structured class. I love Ben, love his personality, love his music. Overall, good class. Difficulty, I would also give it like a 7 to 7.5 out of 10. It really depends on how you push the weights. Like this could have been a lot more difficult, but I do feel like there's a good amount of recovery, and I like that he grouped like the different upper body strength parts. So like back and biceps, and once you did that, you know, it was kind of over, like we weren't coming back to that. So overall, good class and good way to really kick off the program, first non-benchmark class, and I'm excited for the rest of the week. It's now 2 days later. It's Wednesday morning. I took a break from strength yesterday, but now we're ready to get right on back into it, into day 4 recommended, which is class 5, a 20-minute lower body and core strength workout. The description is your first lower body and core of the program. This workout is combined with lower body and core strength movements that are carefully curated to target your glutes, legs, and core. So we'll see. I love legs. Jury's still out on core, but I know you have to do it. And then afterwards, there's class 6, which is a 5-minute lower body stretch. The description is the end of week 1 is in sight. Maximize your time on the mat with a 5-minute lower body stretch and get ready for the last workout of the week. I assume this will be pretty similar to class 3 and 4, which really no complaints. So we'll see what Ben sets up for us today. let's go to the gym, hit the mat, and knock out this strength and stretch. That class again, good but not great. I feel like that might be the theme of this program, but we'll see. I actually feel like this one was structured kind of similar to last class, but it was also different. So we will get into it. But we started out 2-minute body weight warm up, no complaints there. Then we got into the class, and the class was split into 3 different sections. We did a leg section, then a core section, and then another leg section. And I actually really like that structure. I feel like usually when leg and core is grouped together, you do one and then you do the other. But the core section was a nice break from the legs. So it felt like you could really go hard during the leg sections. So I did like that structure. Ben said to grab medium and heavy weights. He actually only used medium the whole time. I wasn't really sure what to grab, so I just grabbed 20, and then I was like, if I need something else, I'll grab something else. But 20 pounds was fine for me for all the moves. It felt appropriate for me. So we started out, the first leg section was a reverse lunge, then lateral lunges, and then squat jumps. But here is kind of the difference between this class and last class. Last class, we had as many rounds as possible. He gave us a rep goal, but was basically keep going even if you hit it. And we had small amounts of recovery in between every move. I believe it was around 15 seconds. This class, he gave us rep goals and then seemed to say to recover after you hit those rep goals. Although he didn't really clearly say that, but it seemed like you were supposed to. And then you got no recovery in between the move. For example, this set was just 30 seconds of each move, no recovery in between. You were supposed to do 8 to 10 reps, which honestly took pretty much the entire 30 seconds for me, so not a lot of recovery. And then you got 30 seconds of rest before you repeated the set. So I'm not a huge fan of this. I would rather have a little bit of recovery after each move, just so that it feels like you can kind of go harder. But this also wasn't the worst because it was only a minute and a half of work. And I honestly feel for lower body, it bothers me less because I am coming off of the Adrian program. So my lower body is pretty strong, but it's something to keep in mind if you like a lot of recovery. In my opinion, this class didn't have that much. So we did that lower body section twice. And then we went into core, and core was kind of all over the place. It was the same thing where you did not get recovery in between moves. So we did a cat-cow, then shoulder tap, then forearm side plank hip dip, and then on the same side doing a rotation where you reach under. I thought that was pretty hard because that was a minute straight of side planks. And honestly, it's been a hot second since I've done a core workout. So I was definitely struggling. Then we did the same thing on the other side. So we did the hip dips on the other side, then the rotation again. And we got a 30-second rest. Then we did crunch, reverse crunch, single leg V-up, double leg stretch, and then hollow body hold. And all of those moves were 30 seconds. So this was a 7-minute core section. And I know that core is usually structured that way, where you just kind of do a bunch of moves in a row. I would have liked a little more structure in this section. I like repeating the set, learning it the first time and then doing it better the second time. But we got through it. And then we went back to lower body, where we did split squats on both sides and then a dumbbell squat. And we did the set 3 times. And we had a 30-second rest in between each repeat. Again, not a ton of recovery, but it didn't bother me that much because the set itself was pretty short. But something to keep in mind, I was kind of surprised because I feel like in programs, usually the classes are very similarly structured, and I would consider this to be kind of different, kind of the same. For enjoyability, I would give it a 7 out of 10. I think that the core section kind of brought it down a little bit. I didn't mind the leg section, but yeah, I'm just not a huge fan of working out my core, but I know it's something I need to do. Difficulty, I would give a 6 to 7 out of 10. Totally depends on your weights, but I feel like I kept at 20 pounds when I could have pushed to 25 at some points because there wasn't a ton of recovery, which then makes the class a little bit easier. But I also think 25 pounds would have been like way too hard without recovery. So I don't really know what to do in those cases. I feel like it was a good workout, but it wasn't like a great workout. I don't feel like I like really got in there and pushed myself. But I don't know, with heavier weights, I think it would have been too hard. But we'll see. We got one more day left in week 1. It is now the next day, and it's time to do day 5 recommended of this week and wrap up the week with a 20-minute full body strength class. The description is end week 1 on a high with a 20-minute full body strength. These workouts are designed to strengthen every muscle group, so make this workout count. And then afterwards, we have a nice 10-minute full body stretch. The description is celebrate your achievement of completing week 1 of the program in this 10-minute full body stretch. Continue the momentum and prepare to level up for week 2. You got this. I also realized yesterday I did not comment on the stretch at all. I probably won't comment on the stretches anymore unless if there's something noteworthy, because pretty much all the stretches I think are good, are effective. You know, they're a stretch. I do really like Ben's 10-minute full body stretches, so it should be a nice way to wrap up the week. And then there's 2 recovery days, which is nice before I start week 2. So let's go hit the mat and knock out this final strength class. This was definitely my favorite class of the whole week. First off, I just thrive when I know what to expect. And I feel like this was very similar to last class, so I knew, we weren't going to get a lot of recovery during the set to kind of plan accordingly, and I just knew what to expect. So I feel like knowing what to expect really like helps me do well in the class. I'm not, hoping that something else will happen. I know what will happen. So we did a 2-minute bodyweight warm-up. We've pretty much been doing the same warm-up all week. We do like jumping jacks and then some sort of like plank walkout. And then the actual workout was 3 different sets. We did upper body first, then lower body, and then core. And in those sets, we did a set and we did it 2 times. So we repeated it once, which is what we've been doing for the past week. So, exactly what I expected. I feel like I didn't mind that we didn't get a lot of recovery because you were doing each section of the body for such a short amount of time, like 5 to 6 minutes for each section. So it's kind of just like, do the best you can, work out the body as efficiently as possible, and then we're moving on. So it's not like you had to continuously work the same muscles and get really tired. Ben said to use medium weights for the first upper body set, and I used 15 pounds. We did a push press, bent over row, standing chest fly, and then bicep curl. The first time we did the set, we did 45 seconds, and the second time we did 30 seconds of each move. I like that set. Standing chest flies are a little iffy for me, but besides that, it felt good. He said to aim for 10 to 12 reps during the 45-second chunks and 8 to 10 reps during the 30-second chunks. And if you hit those reps, you could recover. So I did get like a little bit of recovery, especially during the push presses. I can do those pretty fast. But like the bicep curls and the chest flies, I got no recovery, and it was okay. We had 30 seconds in between each set. So, recovered a little bit, but we got through it. Then the lower body set, he said to grab heavy weights. I grabbed 20 pounds. We did RDLs, lateral lunges, split squats, dumbbell squat, and same exact format, 45 seconds the first time, 30 seconds the second time. I like this, no real complaints, got through it. 20 pounds is a little light for me for RDLs, but in the context of this like kind of superset where you're just continuously doing moves, it was fine. And then at the end, we had a little core segment, and man, I'm just so weak at my core. This program is really making me realize it. I've been neglecting my core, so I'm glad that it's worked in, but I was really dying during this, and it objectively like was not that hard, and I was still dying. We did roll-ups, Russian twists, scissor kicks, and then bicycles. And we did 30 seconds of each move and repeated it once, did 30 seconds of each move again. And yeah, the scissor kicks specifically were really kicking my butt. But then the class was over and I did the 10-minute full body stretch, which was good. Feeling very relaxed after the 10-minute full body stretch. I'm excited for 2 recovery days. Enjoyability, I would give this class like a 7.5 to 8 out of 10. I thought it was pretty enjoyable, and I really do have to give props to Ben because we are not wasting time. Every class, it really feels so efficient, especially these 20-minute workouts. Sometimes I'm like, am I really getting a workout in 20 minutes? And the answer for these classes is yes, you definitely are. He is really working you. You don't get a lot of recovery, so you have a lot of time for movement. Difficulty, I would give this like a 7 out of 10. I didn't think it was super, super difficult just because you are switching like what muscles you're working a lot. So you're never getting like super extreme fatigue, which is also fine. Not every workout has to be a 10 out of 10 difficulty. So overall, a good way to wrap week 1, and I'm excited to see what week 2 brings. It's now Sunday morning and we are ready to start week 2. Had a nice couple of recovery days, but we're ready to get right back into it. So today is class 1 of week 2, day 1 recommended, which is another 20-minute upper body strength class. The description is the momentum continues in this 20-minute upper body strength workout. With progressive overload in mind, you are well on your way to becoming the strongest version of you. Make every rep count. And then afterwards, we just do a 5-minute upper body stretch. The description is give your body some love in this 5-minute upper body stretch. Take this time to recenter your mind and prepare for the next workout. So I expect this to be very, very similar to last week, probably, either more reps or heavier weight. We'll see, but let's go hit the gym and knock out these 2 workouts. That class was extremely similar to last week's upper body strength class, really no surprise there. We had a 2-minute warm-up and then we got right on into the class. There were 4 sections that all featured a different group of muscles. I did feel like I struggled with weight and picking the correct weight more in this class, and because there was no time to switch out weights, it kind of impacted my workout, but at the end of the day, do you think that I got a pretty good workout in? Ben said to grab medium and heavy weights. I grabbed 15 pounds and then I grabbed 10 pounds and then I ended up grabbing 20 pounds as well. I think I just need all 3 of those to do an effective arms workout. I don't really know what the advice is to try to get more of your muscles on the same weight. I don't know if I should be going easier on some of the moves that I find easier and then go harder and up the weight on moves that I find harder, but we'll get to that. So we started off with a chest set, and usually for chest presses, I use 20 pounds, but I used 15 pounds because it was a superset, no recovery. We did a wide grip chest press for 30 seconds, a neutral grip chest press for 30 seconds, and then we had 10 seconds of recovery time, but then 30 seconds of push-ups. And I feel like I might have been able to push through with the 20 pounds, but it would have been really hard, especially with the push-ups at the end. I was dying and I was doing them on my knees, so I feel like 15 pounds was fine. We did that set twice. Then the next set focused on back, and we started out with rows on each side, and 15 pounds is just way too light for me to be doing a single arm row. So I went up to 20 pounds. We did 30 seconds on each side and then finished with a reverse fly. I tried 15 pounds, it just felt horrible. So I went down to 10, which I think is a little too easy, but I don't really know what to do in that case. Is it better to have 8 good reps of the 10 pounds and feeling like you kind of left something, or to have 5 kind of bad reps of the 15 pounds and just feel horrible when the 30 seconds are over? Let me know, because I actually don't know what is better. Should I try to get more reps with the lighter weight, or should I just keep struggling through the 15-pound weight? Because I feel like I've been struggling with the 15-pound weight for reverse flies for a long time, over a year now, and I never really see improvement. So I'm just kind of stuck there. But we also did that set 2 times, and all of the moves were 30 seconds, and pretty much for every single move we aimed for 8 to 10 reps, but that pretty much took me the whole 30 seconds. Then the next set was shoulders. We did an Arnold press, a lateral raise, and then a push press. And here I also had problems. Ben used the same medium weight the whole time. 10 pounds is way too light for me to be doing shoulder presses with, especially a push press where you have the momentum from like bending your knees and standing up. But I tried 15 pounds on the lateral raises and again, felt absolutely horrible. I just feel like these kind of sets are not set up for like trying to push weight, because I might have been able to do 15 pounds with lateral raises if I had some more recovery. But going from a Arnold press to lateral raises directly into push presses, it's just not possible for me. So we did that set twice, and then we finished off with bicep and tricep. So we did a crossbody curl, tricep kickback, and hammer curl. And again, I did 15 pounds for the curls and then went down to 10 pounds for the tricep. I tried 15 pounds and again, it felt awful. There's definitely a lot of variance in my upper body and it's something I need to work on, but I'm just really not sure how. So if you have advice, let me know, because that's definitely something that I need to work on. And I just don't understand how Ben can use like the same weight for everything. But I guess you just like push some muscles harder than others. I don't know. But overall, I didn't hate the class. Like enjoyability, I would give like a 7 out of 10. I mean, I don't love the supersets, but it was efficient. Like we get in there with the 20 minutes, we're working out. It does pass by fast. And I do like how he structures the class, how he groups together the different muscles. And then like we don't come back to those muscles. Overall, like a decent class. Difficulty, I would give like a 7 out of 10. I feel like I was struggling with the weights. If I pushed weight, it would have been way, way harder. And it also could have been way, way easier if I, went down in weight. So it's mostly just how much you push yourself, but you don't get a ton of recovery. So do factor that in. And then we had the 5-minute upper body stretch, which was good. And that wraps up week 2, day 1. It is now the next day. We're feeling good. We're ready for week 2, day 2 recommended, which is a 20-minute full body workout. The description is push yourself in this 20-minute full body workout. Week 2 is well on its way. You're settling into the program and maintaining focus on the structure and consistency. Continue to refine your form and technique for supreme results. You've got this. So I usually like the full body strength workouts in this program, at least I liked the one last week. So I have high hopes for today. And afterwards we have a 10-minute full body stretch. The description is relax your mind in this 10-minute full body stretch. Your mobility and flexibility will improve not only from your workouts, but from your stretches too. So let's hit the mat and knock out this full body day. Okay, so I definitely have feelings about this class, and I actually was really vibing at the beginning, and then towards the end it got worse. And that's because basically the way that he is progressing this class from last week is just by giving you less recovery. And you already don't have a lot of recovery. Like last week, we just had 30 seconds rest in between the repeats of the sets and the demos. And we had that during the arm segment, but then during the leg and core segment, we literally got a 15-second rest after doing a whole superset of moves, which just is not enough recovery. Like if that's how he's going to keep progressing in these classes, I know I'm not going to enjoy it. And I honestly am like on the edge of stopping the program. I think I will go at least till the end of week 2 and then make my decision. Like I want to complete it. I'm very much like, if I start something, I want to finish it. But these are just like not my vibe. And I kind of get it because Ben is using like 15-pound medium weights and 20-pound heavy weights. And that's also what I'm using. And I'm sorry, but there's no way those are like correct weights for Ben. Like he's definitely lifting heavier. But in a situation where you just have absolutely like no recovery, maybe it makes more sense for him. But I just don't like that kind of workout. Like I really don't know what the benefit of it is. And I'm surprised because it has been a while since I've taken the Stronger You one, but I don't remember disliking it as much as I dislike this program. But maybe I like was in a different part of my fitness journey and it didn't bother me as much. or maybe it was different. I don't quite remember. But we started out this class, 2-minute body weight warm up. That was normal. Ben said to grab medium heavy weights, grab 15 and 20. I was like, you know what? I'm going to commit and do any of the arm movements with 15 pounds. I'm going to push myself. It should be a short set. So we started with the upper body. We did a wide grip overhead press, wide grip bent over row, bicep curl, tricep kickback. And really the only move that was a struggle was the tricep kickback. It wasn't pretty, but I got through it. The first set was 45 seconds of each move, 10 to 12 reps. And the second set was 30 seconds with 8 to 10 reps. So that set was like fine. I was feeling good. I'm like feeling pretty happy. Like I'm pushing myself on the weight a little bit. And then we go into lower body where Ben announces he's keeping his medium weights, which is 15 pounds, which I don't know. I like when the instructor is like struggling with you. For example, in the Adrian glutes and legs class, like he was using 40 plus pounds and I wasn't anywhere close to that, but I find that motivational. And it's also like, he is working hard as well. I know it is a huge debate, like if the coach should be coaching you more or if they should actually be doing the workout. But I like when they're actually doing the workout. So I was just kind of like rolling my eyes at Ben. But we did RDLs, dumbbell squats, reverse lunge where we just had one weight in our hands. We just racked one weight. And then a goblet squat. I used 20 pounds. I thought that that was reasonable, except for the fact that we literally only got 15 seconds of recovery. So we did 3 minutes of straight work because it was 45 seconds of each move. And then we had 15 seconds of recovery. And then we went into 2 more minutes of work, which at the end of the day, 20 pounds isn't like my absolute max weight on legs, but I just like don't see the purpose of only giving 15 seconds recovery. And then we went into core, which is when things really started falling apart for me. The leg segment, I'm like, okay, this is hard, but like at the end of the day, I can do RDLs pretty fast. So I was getting like a little bit of recovery in the set as well. But the core was just bad because there's no rep target. You don't get any recovery. So we did scissor kicks, bicycles. And then, so after a minute and a half of core work, we did a 45-second hollow body hold with no recovery. I feel like that is like not reasonable. I don't know if I'm just like in a bad mood today, but I was not having it during the hollow body hold. And then 45 seconds of mountain climbers. So 3 minutes of straight core, no recovery. Like 45 seconds of hollow body hold would be hard for me with recovery on both sides. So having no recovery, I was not a happy camper. Then we got, a nice 15 seconds of recovery before doing 2 more minutes of work of 30 seconds of each move. And then the class was over. I liked the arm section. I honestly didn't mind the leg section. I was like, oh, we're not getting that much recovery, but it's fine. I like legs. But the core section was just really, really bad for me. And then I get demotivated and then the moves are bad. It was just a bad way to end the class. And yeah, we'll see what he does in the future, but difficulty for this class, I would give a 9 out of 10. Depends on the weight, but if you're grabbing your normal weights, just know that you're going to have absolutely no recovery. So be prepared for that. Enjoyability, the first 2 sets, I would give a 7 out of 10. The first set was an 8 out of 10. The second set was a 7 out of 10. And then the last set was a 2 out of 10. So overall, I would give it a 5 out of 10. The core set really soured me. I know I'm also weak on core. So if you're really strong and you like a core challenge, you might not mind that. You might think it's a good finisher. But for me, I found it to be difficult. So that's it for that class. Then we went into the 10-minute full body stretch. That was fine. It felt good to stretch out. And I'm very excited for my recovery day tomorrow. It is now 2 days later. It's Wednesday morning and I have calmed down since the end of last class. So we're ready to approach day 4 recommended of this week with a more positive attitude. It is a 20-minute lower body and core strength class. Not crazy about core, but I typically like lower body. I liked last week's class. That was lower body and core. So, I'm feeling good and hopeful about today. The description is today's focus is lower body and core. Continue to maximize on weights and reps to reach inspiring new levels. You're at the halfway mark of week 2, so maintain that motivated and focused mentality. And then afterwards, there's a 5-minute lower body stretch. The description is unwind in this 5-minute lower body stretch. Stretching the muscles post-workout is vital for optimum recovery. Get ready for your final workout of the week. So yeah, I'm feeling good. Let's hit the mat and knock out this legs and core class. All in all, that was a pretty good class, and in the context of this program, I feel like we got an okay amount of recovery. So we did the 2-minute body weight warm-up. Ben said to grab medium and heavy weights. I just grabbed 20 pounds, and I'm like, every leg move I can do with 20 pounds. It might be a little light for some moves, but that's fine because everything's a superset. And I feel like that was good for me. Like, it was a good weight. So the first set was a leg set, and we did lateral lunges on one side, lateral lunges on the other side, and then a deadlift. And you did each move for 30 seconds, aiming for 8 to 10 reps. We had a 30-second rest, and then we repeated it. And yeah, no complaints there, good little set. And then we went into another little leg set, and it was just a hip bridge. So we did this 3 times with a weight. So I used my 20-pound weight. I think he said to use a medium weight, but honestly, 20-pound hip bridges feel good for me. I haven't done a hip bridge in a hot sec, and I like them. So I like this little burnout set. We had 15 seconds of recovery in between, but I feel like it was a reasonable set. We did 45 seconds the first 2 times, and the last time we did it for a full minute, and it was just as many reps as possible. Again, if it was a different move, I might feel differently, but I like hip bridges, so I like that little set. Then we went into core, and I think I'm just in a better mood today. The core set didn't bother me as much. It was straight through, but we just did it once. So we did scissor kicks, bicycles, oblique heel taps, crunch, forearm plank, and then high plank. 30 seconds of each move, a quick little 3-minute core set, and then we were back to legs, although we did throw a little core into the last set as well. So the last set we did 3 times. We did a reverse lunge, then a dumbbell squat, and a mountain climber to finish. 30 seconds of each move, aiming for 8 to 10 reps on the legs, but then as many reps as possible for the mountain climbers with 30 seconds recovery. So I feel like the 30 seconds of recovery to repeat is good now that I took last class and we got less than that. Now I'm like, oh, this is a nice amount of recovery. So I don't know if that was Ben's goal with last class, but he definitely achieved me being grateful for the little amount of recovery he did give us. And I like lower body. The core strength did feel better, so maybe I am, getting a little more into core shape. I'm not sure if doing the program for a week and a half is really having an impact, but it did feel better today. So overall, a good class. I'm a lot happier than last time. Enjoyability, I'd give it like a 7.5 to 8 out of 10. Had a good time. We got through the moves. I really like leg movements. The core wasn't awful. We kept it moving, and difficulty, I would give like a 7 out of 10. I actually didn't think it was super, super difficult. Again, now I'm grateful for the little recovery we have. And I also know to just not push the weight super, super hard. Usually I would go up to 25 pounds for deadlifts, but in the context of this class, I feel like 20 pounds was good. So overall, I'm happy with it, and I'm interested to see how he wraps up week 2 tomorrow. It's now the next day, and we're feeling good. We're feeling ready to wrap up week 2. So the first class is a 20-minute full body strength class. The description is, we're nearly at the halfway mark. Look how far you've come. Give your absolute best today in this 20-minute full body workout. Watch your confidence grow and discover a stronger, healthier, happier you. And I'm a little nervous because last full body class I didn't like, but we're going in today with a positive attitude. And Ben has got on a neon yellow getup with shirt and shorts. So maybe he is signaling that it will be a fun class. We'll see. And then afterwards is a 10-minute full body stretch. The description is, that's a wrap on week 2. So celebrate that you're at the halfway mark. Reflect on your wins for this week in this calming 10-minute full body stretch. Get ready to up the intensity for week 3. And I do love Ben's 10-minute full body stretches. I think that he's the best at them on the platform. It should be a good way to end week 2. So let's go to the gym, hit the mat, and knock out these 2 classes. That class was very similar to the class that I didn't like 2 classes ago, but I do think I found a hack that I can still enjoy the workout enough to continue this program. And basically the hack is when he gives a rep range to do the lowest amount of reps in that range. For the 45-second sets, he always says to do like 10 to 12. And for the 30-second sets, he says to do 8 to 10. And I feel like before this class, I would always try to aim for the max amount of reps, which I could usually do in the time frame, but there would just be no recovery. Versus now where I just know I'm going to do the minimum reps and I finish and there's recovery in every single move. So I feel like I should have always been doing it. I think it boils down to this program is too hard for me to do at like the absolute max reps. And I do think that's okay. I think I can still get a good workout in, and this worked out like a lot better for me. I had a way better attitude during this class. So we started out 2-minute warm up, no complaints there, body weight, very basic. Then we went into an arms circuit first, where we did an Arnold press, wide grip bent over row, bicep curl, and overhead extension. I used 15 pounds for all of these, except for the overhead extension. You went down to 1 weight, so I grabbed a 20. So it's kind of like 10 in each hand. I feel like that's a good weight for me for an overhead extension. 15 is really light. And yeah, I just hit the min reps, had like 5 to 10 seconds of rest in between each move. And we did this set 2 times. The first time we did 45 seconds for each move, second time 30 seconds for each move. And we had 15 seconds in between the 2 sets for rest. So yeah, I'm glad that I did the minimum reps. I feel like it just worked out so much better. I had more recovery, still felt like a good workout. I would still like to push the weight a little bit more, but I just feel like over 15 pounds, I can't do it in the context of this class. Then we went into the leg segment, which was structured the same as the arm segment, 45 seconds the first time, 30 seconds the second time. We did RDLs, dumbbell squats, reverse lunges, and then a goblet squat. And I used 20 pounds for all of these. Sometimes I did the max reps, but the majority of the time I was still doing the min reps for these. We got a 15-second rest before repeating again. I just don't think that's enough for it to be my only recovery. And I honestly think that Ben means for you to like finish early and have a little bit of recovery, because otherwise this class is just like way too hard. And then we finish off with a core section. I do think my core is getting a little bit stronger. It's not perfect, but this didn't feel as bad. I also feel like I wasn't as burnt out. So, you know, we were in high spirits when we started the core section, and we did a high plank, then a bird dog, bicycles, and flutter kicks. 45 seconds the first time all the way through, so 3 minutes of work, 15-second rest, and then 30 seconds the second time. And I feel like the bird dog was kind of nice because bird dogs are still hard, but I feel like it was also like a little bit of recovery because you're only working like one side at a time. So overall, not a bad class. The class was over. Difficulty, I would give like a 6.5 to 7 out of 10 with my new approach. It's definitely on the easier side now, but I don't think that I can do it and have it be harder without me being in just like a horrible mood. This class structure is just like not really my vibe at the end of the day. Enjoyability, I would give it like also a 6.5 out of 10. I don't think that it's the most enjoyable class ever. I feel like Ben was like kind of complaining a lot during this class. Like he's like, oh, like imagine I'm doing everything you're doing, but I'm also talking. And I'm like, okay, but you're also doing it with weights that are like way, way too light for you. Like that's like if I was doing it with 5-pound weights, but whatever. He brought that up a lot, which I thought was kind of weird. And I just feel like, yeah, this class isn't my vibe. So it's not like ever super enjoyable, but I do like that, you know, we go through the different sections, pretty good full body workout. Like, we got through it. Then we had the 10-minute full body stretch. That was good. I will say one major plus of this program is no repeat stretches. I really appreciate that Ben, kind of films the same thing over and over again, but it is a different stretch. Like he does reference the class. Like today he's like, oh yeah, we're like wrapping up week 2. And I appreciate that because just taking the same thing over and over again does get really boring. So that is a plus in my book. But overall, I feel pretty ambivalent about this program right now. I do think that I'm going to continue and do another video of weeks 3 and 4. Next week, we do go up to 30 minutes per class instead of 20 minutes. So I'm curious to see if that changes the structure at all, just because I feel like doing this kind of workout for 30 minutes would be kind of bad, but I really don't know what to expect. We'll see. I also think this new approach of mine has changed my mindset a lot and will help me get through it. I'm also not a quitter. I don't know if I've ever started a program and stopped it. I just like to continue. I do want to see my progress. I do think I'm getting stronger. I do like that, I'm kind of getting my core back into shape. So overall, we'll see. Jury's still out on this program. I am going to wrap this video here and then start a new video. So definitely let me know if you like this program, if you have any tips for me on things I could do to enjoy it a little bit more. I think at the end of the day, it's just not my preferred way of lifting, but I don't necessarily think that's a bad thing. And if you like kind of lighter reps, but more reps, then you would like this class a lot. Yeah, wait, that's another thing in this class. Ben mentioned a lot of times that we're going for quality over quantity. And I'm like, the structure of this class, I disagree. We're going for quantity based on how you're setting it up. But whatever, agree to disagree. We'll see how weeks 3 and 4 go. Weeks 1 and 2 were solidly okay. So that's it for this video. I hope you guys are staying safe, having an awesome week, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.